And let's see what's coming up in the cards for you this month. We open the month with Ace of Coins in reverse. I'm kind of seeing this as echoing the shape of this full moon in your first house of identity and self. And Ace of Coins means the beginning of something new in our physical, tangible world. It's a gift that's being given to us from the universe. And it's an invitation to step into this new life, this new garden, this new lifestyle. So I see an offer being made to you as we open March, but there may be, because it's in reverse, there may be some fear, doubt, or resistance on your part, Virgo, towards receiving it. It may be saying, here's this new thing that you can receive and take and have and own, something that's of value, something that is essentially a gift. But when it's in reverse, and with it being an ace, it's a new beginning, but with it being in reverse, it's saying that you may not be ready for it. It may be in delay. You may have some resistance or some trepidation towards receiving this thing. It may feel like there is some, whatever it is, there's some fear, doubt, or resistance that needs to be cleared away for you to be able to receive this thing that is being handed or offered to you, Virgo. Let's see what else is coming up. I'm going to put that in reverse because that's how it was. What else is coming up for you? Six of Coins in reverse. This is usually about giving and receiving in balance. There may be something that feels out of balance. Six of Coins, as you can see, that has got this scale. And it's usually about feeling like what you give comes back to you, or that the efforts that you're putting out are being compensated fairly, that there is a equality in terms of what's being put out versus what's being received. I'm seeing here in some ways that there may be a sense of that you have a sense of fear, doubt, concern that if you give out that you may not get it back, or that if you receive this thing that you don't necessarily want to. There's something in resistance about giving and receiving in balance, or feeling like that you're going to be bound to, I'm kind of getting like strings attached. Like if you give, then there needs to be an equal response. There's something there that feels out of alignment in terms of giving and receiving, or there may be a fear about not being compensated fairly for the efforts that you put out. Like maybe you're concerned that if you give something that it may not come back to you, or that if you extend yourself that you may not get it. But I do see this gift coming back to you. I see it, he's holding the one coin and this one coin is here, and I see it that as he gives here, he receives it back. So just consider that, Virgo. If there's something that is valuable to you that you are either receiving or giving, this really represents that this can happen with fairness, with equality. It can really be a new valuable gift to you, but you really have to remove any fears, doubts, or resistance to equal give and take, is what I'm seeing. As you open up to the idea of equal give and take, you can receive more. So that's what we open the month with for you, Virgo. Let's see what else is coming out. Yeah, Empress. It puts you in a position, once you deal with and remove, and this may have to do with something from your past, Virgo, where you gave and gave and gave and gave and didn't get things back. But once you remove whatever fear, doubt, or resistance you have to this, you actually receive this new gift, and you end up in a place of great abundance, great satisfaction, great love. Empress is the person who has it all. She is satisfied, she is abundant, she's prosperous, everything grows around her. She works very well with Ace of Coins energy. It's all about the garden. Everything grows, everything flourishes, everything is abundant, it's sort of like all the trees are bearing fruit. So whatever it is in terms of your fear, doubt, or resistance about even exchange, maybe having given too much in the past and not received back, I see that at the beginning of March or sometime within March, you really show up here as prosperous, abundant, satisfied, flourishing. You know, you have Empress energy with you. It's also sensually satisfied. It's everything that you want. Everything comes to you. Everything flourishes. So allow that in, Virgo, by removing, dealing with, even just confronting what it is that you have in terms of fears of giving out value or receiving something valuable. There's some things to unpack here, but I see you as putting yourself in a nice place of prosperity, abundance, and receiving, really, Virgo. This is a card of receiving, and it means just leaning back and receiving what the world wants to give to you. This gift, this new beginning. It could be new money, it could be new possession, it could be new asset, it could just be something of value. Anything, this coin rarely represents just something of value. And when I see Empress in the upright, it tells me that you are going to work through this and just receive it. And just be in a place of supreme satisfaction, abundance, prosperity, flourishing, you know, being satisfied. So that's some interesting energy starting off March for you, Virgo. There may be some balancing out in terms of giving and receiving, or your feelings towards that, your perception of that, working through past fears, doubts, resistance about that. But I see you dealing with it and putting yourself in a place to receive and feeling very satisfied, very abundant, very prosperous, very, you know, on top of everything. There does seem to be some conflict or some competition here. Five of Wands is a very Mars card. It's got a lot of fire energy to it. Sometimes it represents petty conflicts or like bickering or arguments or just like, you know, things. I think of it as like a ball of string that needs to be untangled. Sometimes that's what Five of Wands feels like. But whenever I see this card, and it also, by the way, represents competition, like you fighting over something, you know, being at odds with someone else to win the battle or win the prize, you know, the Ace of Coins here, or the other people are fighting over you. But whenever I look at this card, I always am reminded that it's sometimes called playing versus fighting. So this could be like open aggression, warfare, Mars energy, or it could just be playfulness. This could be flirtation. This could be like sparks. You know, fire energy can be either constructive or destructive. It can be either entertaining or it can be, you know, just tear things down. Excuse me. So whenever I see this card, there's really the opportunity to look at something as playing versus fighting. Are you going to use this energy as playfulness, or are you going to use it as aggression? Both of those things can come out here. And it's a great card of flirtation. It's a card of competition. But whenever I see it, I think of, you know, kids playing. And that's really the high interpretation of this card, or the high side of this card is playfulness versus that open warfare. So try to, when you see this card, there's a Buddhist saying that I often see when I see this card, it says, enjoy your problems. You know, if there's problems, just laugh at it, or just, you know, go through and say, you know, you can kind of have a sense of humor about things, and you can kind of keep it light. So that's coming up too. Let's see what else is coming up for you, Virgo. Okay, looks like 8 of Wands in reverse. That's a delay in communication. Interesting. Let's see what else is coming up. It also may be things that are happening swiftly under the surface, but it's not, you're not seeing things necessarily going swiftly. That's kind of hidden from you. Both of these cards are cards of swiftness, Knight of Swords and 8 of Wands. So 8 of Wands is a card about things being 80 to 90% lined up, things happening quickly. I think of a water pot that is heating up, and you don't necessarily see that it's about to boil, but it is at this point. But in the reverse, it says, you know, there could be a lack of communication. There could be a lack of clear communication with Knight of Swords being in reverse. Or there could be something happening under the surface in reverse that is not seen to you, that's happening quickly, but it's being kind of put in delay, or that you're not conscious of the fact that things are happening quickly. You may not be communicating your truth. Eight of Wands is a delay in communication or a suppression of communication. So I'm going to encourage you, Virgo, towards the middle of the month. Is there something that you're delaying communicating? Or is there something that you're not saying? Both of these cards in reverse speak to that. Knight of Swords in the upright, for example, charges through. He doesn't care what the consequences of his words are. He speaks the truth. He has courage. He sort of like slashes and burns anything. You know, he's got ultimate reliance upon his mental process, and he just goes for it. He doesn't really care about the consequence of his words. And that may be part of what's going on for you, is that you're afraid of the consequences of your words, the consequences of your communication. So you may be suppressing those or putting those in delay. But it could also be like that this is a communication that's mounting, that is approaching completion, and that you're getting ready to say it. So regardless, when this card appears in reverse, it says that sometimes there may be a lack of concern for other people's feelings with what is said. He can be very sharp, very cutting, and it could be that you are just taking some time to consider your words before saying something that takes you forward too quickly. There could be a concern or a fear of moving too quickly with both of these in reverse. There is King of Coins. That's you, Virgo. This is you being on top of your game. This is feeling at the middle of the month like you have finally arrived at your full self. This is having all your ducks lined up. You Virgos love that. Feeling like you have your house in order. Feeling like your finances are in order. I mean, look at both of these in line with one another. Really represent feeling on top of it. They're both on a throne. They both are very Taurus-centered cards. You can even see the Taurus's horns here, which means financial prosperity and abundance. You can see he's wearing even a robe of vineyards and grapes here that are fully blooming. And she too is a very Taurus-centered card. So it means having the things in the physical realm that you want, the things that you desire, having your desires met, having arrived at a place of satisfaction, of prosperity, of abundance, of having what you want and being satisfied. So really nice cards here for you, Virgo, especially at the middle of the month. I love this for you. We have Three of Coins in reverse. So Three of Coins is usually a card about working on things in a group setting. Sometimes it can be three energy, so whatever that may mean to you, but it looks like that's in reverse. So it looks like you may be coming out of something that was a group. For some of you, it may be coming out of a third-party situation. For some of you, it may mean that you're not working in groups right now, that it's not featured for you, that a group project has stalled out, or that your focus may be spread in too many directions, or if it had been, that you may be coming out of that. So Three of Coins is usually a card of again, working with other people, working with more than one person. Groups are featured with this. And so in the reverse, it says the group is no longer featured, or it's not currently featured. It's not a good time to be engaging in group dynamics, is what that's saying. Let's see what else is going on here. It may be better to just consolidate things when this appears. I see Justice in reverse. So that's a difficult decision. And with Two of Coins, you're really weighing it, like this way or that way. Do I go left or right? You know, in here, it's kind of echoing this card too, Virgo. we see the scales twice here, which means balancing and weighing the evidence, balancing and considering something. This is the juggler card, which you can see he's got one coin in one hand and one coin in the other. And it's sort of like he's in this infinite loop of going back and forth and back and forth. Like, do I go left? Do I go right? Do I go left? Do I go right? You know, he's going up and down. And justice really requires a verdict. Justice is about considering both sides of something and rendering a verdict that is in accordance and alignment with the truth. That's what the sword represents here. So with justice in reverse, it's almost saying that you're having a hard time rendering a verdict about something. You kind of just want to keep things in flux. You kind of just want to keep juggling things. You kind of want to just remain on one foot, even if you're off balance that way. So it tells me that you are struggling to make a decision, but you're really weighing both sides of it. You're really looking at, what does this side look like? What does this side look like? What are both sides of the evidence? What are both arguments of this? And I see that you actually do make some progress towards the end of the month. I see this card, Six of Swords, means travel. It means healing, recovery. It could be that someone else is helping you, that you're helping someone else, or you're helping yourself. And Six of Swords means traveling from turbulent waters, which we also see here. Usually these waves are going up and down with this ship. It means traveling from turbulent waters to calmer, smoother horizons. And it also may mean that some of you have more than one option. This is Seven of Cups, which means many options. It's a risk-taking card. So some of you may be going somewhere and taking a risk. I sometimes call this the Las Vegas card, which means like what you see may not necessarily be what you get. It can be a card of infatuation, but this card is really a very healing card, and it means going from somewhere difficult, somewhere that was charged waters, somewhere where there was a lot of turmoil or chaos, and going somewhere healing, going to a new horizon, a new land, a new place that feels like recovery, that feels like healing, that feels like you're packing up your burdens and going somewhere new where there's not these waves lapping at your boat. So I see, Virgo, that you're actually in a very good place in March, especially as it relates to prosperity, abundance, things that you own, things that you value, things that you treasure come easily to you this month, and you're being given a gift. If you can put yourself in a place of receiving to receive it. There may be some challenges or delays with communication at the middle of the month because you don't want things to go too fast. And there may be a decision towards the end of the month that you're having a hard time making because you're weighing both sides of it so much. But I do see you ultimately making a decision to move on to something, to go somewhere, to recover from something, to heal from something. But you may have a lot of deliberation. You may have to think a lot of things over. This is saying there's a lot of options. You can pretty much have anything you want, is what this card is telling me. But just make sure that you're clear in your thinking and your decision making when you're weighing these things. Make sure that you are in alignment with the truth, Virgo, that you do render a good verdict, and it will take you somewhere good. It will take you somewhere to a path of serenity, of peace, of a new horizon that is calm.